So with the recent episode of Dragon Ball Super now being released, everybody is talking about who and what Monaka is and the types of powers that he possesses. I'm joined here today by JrzSaiyan, and today we're going to be discussing the overall subject of Monaka and how powerful he may be and what our take is on the character itself. Now, I made two videos about Monaka separately, talking about his power and what his true identity may be. Now, a lot of you guys seem to just go off the notion that he just very well might be a conduit, like somewhat of a weak character, just being portrayed as a very strong one to come with, but in the end, he's going to turn out to be very weak. Now, I wanted to ask you, Mr. JR, what's your overall take on the standpoint of Monaka? And my first question to you is, do you believe Monaka is weak, or do you believe Monaka is strong, judging based on what you've seen yourself? Because even though he hasn't done virtually anything right now, the only thing that we saw, come of him was when Goku punched him in base form, post-Resurrection F, and he was able to take the punch. He didn't really, budge. He didn't move an inch. Like, he just took the punch head on, even though there were tears in his eyes. Normally, we saw what happened with base form Goku when he fought final form Frieza, and he was able to beat the living crap out of him. But in this standpoint, we have Goku punching Monaka in the face, and Monaka barely budged. So I want to know from you, do you believe as a fan that Monaka is weak, or do you believe he is strong? And if you believe either or, like, why do you believe such a thing?
Now, before I had the notion that Monaka was going to be a gag character, we had talked about this before, and I had said, I just came out blatantly and said, Monaka's not going to be that strong. Now, I can see why people think that, and people can assume that, but now, guys, what's, transpired this past episode, the way Beerus acts towards Monaka, the way he shadows Monaka, he protects him, he respects Monaka.
And that is something that we don't see, like, often at all, because
no, exactly.
As a god of destruction, Beerus respects nobody, but for him to be sheltering Monaka from Goku like that, it was very unusual. So, like, what kind of vibes did you get from that?
And that automatically, the vibe that it gave, now this is opinionated, guys.
It's an opinionated video, guys. Don't misconstrue the information. Again, if you guys have a different opinion, just let me know down below, because not a lot of you guys are going to agree with either myself or JR here. Some of you guys might have different opinions, and if you do, comment them down below. But I'm just stating the case of what we've seen thus far with Monaka, because there's so much about him that we don't know of. Same thing applies to, all the other characters, because we haven't really gotten a backstory to anyone yet. I mean, truly, because all we've seen thus far was a few characters fighting. That was it. We don't really have an insight as to who Botamo is, what Vegeta is made out of, who Hit is, and stuff like that. We don't really know anything, but we're just going based off what we saw, especially with Monaka here. So again, going back to the notion, do you think he is strong, or do you think he is weak? Why or why not?
Now, going back to the vibe it gave me right away was that he has to be a previous god of destruction. That's really the vibe I got. I got Beerus acting not so high and mighty, because he's the god of destruction. That's how he acts, right? But he's being respectful. He's kind of sheltering him. He's he doesn't want too much on Monaka.
So wait. So if you believe that he was a previous god of destruction, so then you're implying that he is indeed strong.
Yes. Oh, yes. I have to say he is strong. And before I said he's not strong.
In a very small way, you're kind of retracting your statements that we made a couple of weeks ago when you said that he was weak, right?
Yes, I
am. So, all right, so we have a Dragon Ball fan that finally changed his mind on a certain topic. All right, I mean, it's cool, because I was wrong too, guys. After seeing what happened with Vegeta, I thought that Vegeta was just going to be taken out very easy, and I am bold enough to admit that I was wrong on that, but that's going to be for a separate video. Now, so you believe Monaka's strong. That was going to lead into my next question, like, who do you think Monaka is? Because as you just said, you believe he is the previous god of destruction. Now, I probably have this same kind of like agreement there, but in a way I also believe that there's something more to him, because for him to be the previous god of destruction who has lost to Beerus in terms of like respective titles to see who was going to become the new god of destruction per se, I can go off that, but in a way I also feel as if maybe Monaka isn't the god of destruction. Maybe Monaka has always been an entity that's been there for like since the beginning of time, because that reflects off of Majin Buu, right? Majin Buu's like little story arc was ultimately altered, because we had the story of him being created by Bibidi, and then all of a sudden they changed that, and they just had him be within the presence of life ever since the beginning of creation. So like Majin Buu had like a different like alteration in terms of like how he was formed and how he came about. So maybe that's Monaka's stem as well. Maybe Monaka was always there, and he was always powerful. Or perhaps maybe, you know, Monaka was like one of Beerus's like first ever rivals, sort of like Goku and Vegeta in a way, because like how they have like their relationship set based off of, maybe
Yeah, I was
that's
gonna say
how
that.
Beerus and Monaka have it. Except they don't seem to be butting heads at all because they have like a mutual respect for one another. But for him being a god of destruction, I'm about 70% agreeing with you on that, but the other half of me is saying that I believe that he has somewhat of an influence to Beerus's power. Maybe he was his teacher, even though it's kind of like, you know, like far off, because like some people are gonna say, oh wait, that's Whis. But again, this all goes back to like the plot holes of things, because we don't really know much about any character. But why do you believe he's the god of destruction, or at least he once was the god of destruction? Because for me, if he wasn't the previous god of destruction, maybe the notion sets off that he is indeed the current god of another universe. But then again, if that's the case, then that's technically cheating, because I don't think you're allowed to bring in another god from another universe to fight for you, because that just doesn't seem right. But why do you believe he is the former god of destruction on this one?
Now, when Beer says Monaka is the second strongest fighter, or the first strongest fighter he's ever faced, right?
Yes.
That, after we meet Monaka, and now we see how Beerus is kind of, you know, the way he's been with Monaka, kind of protecting him, being respectful. That you know, that there's respect only comes when battles, especially in Dragon Ball, right? Respect comes when battles are legit, like the best battle they've ever had. They earn that respect,
Right.
and especially if, let's say, like you said, how a student beats teacher, respect is there. So I'm not saying that, you know, he Beerus was a student to Monaka, but it can go in retrospect to previous god of destruction to the current. You know, once you beat him, you still respect him, and he's, you know, the strongest person you've ever faced. So that when that kind of brings me back to that statement that he had said. Now, I wanted to add to a point was, we don't know the backstory of the whole God of Destruction, how you become God of Destruction, this and that. For all we know, you know, it could be like a test. For example, let's say that I'm just like going off of, you know, my head, my imagination.
Yeah.
Let's
Yeah.
say it's kind of like in Naruto when you have a team. What
Right.
if Beerus and Monaka were rivals, but comrades at the same time, battling to become God of Destruction? That could also be a, you know, scenario, because we don't know exactly how the whole God of Destruction actually occurs.
I mean,
How
you're
you
right.
become.
It could be. It could have came down to the point where Whis was like, all right, well, the title of God of Destruction is now vacant, and whoever wins this battle is going to have that ranking
Yeah,
of being called God of
exactly.
Destruction. So that could be a possibility. I'm not ruling that out. I mean, for all we know, this could lead into one of many theories here. I mean, people have been talking a lot, and going back to my videos that I made a couple days ago about Monaka, a lot of you guys seem to believe that he's weak. Now, I want to get your take on some of those comments, because
Okay.
if I can remember, there was one guy in particular. He said that Monaka is going to be a foreshadowed character who is pretty much going to be displayed as a joke because of what happened with Goku's
With
Kamehameha
Goku.
wave, because
Yeah.
he wasn't able to follow his Kamehameha wave and he got knocked out or something like that. Like he was just like dazed out or whatever. But like for those people that believe that he is indeed weak, what are your thoughts on, you know, them? Because you were once like agreeing with them. You even
Yeah.
told me one time
Of
that you
course.
believe that he was weak. So what's your take on people that believe he's weak? Are they underestimating him, or are they going based off of like the wrong
Looks.
facts here?
Yeah. All right, guys. So I was in the same boat as you guys were. Now, the thing with Dragon Ball, you can never. I said this with Geekdom a week ago or so. You can never go off looks in Dragon Ball. Ever. Ever, ever, ever. You can never go off looks. I mean, look at Majin Buu. Look at, you know, Kid Goku. There's so many characters, small characters that, you know, I mean, even look at Beerus. At first, maybe you wouldn't have thought, you know, this cat's going to be strong. And then it turned out to be the God of Destruction. You never know when. And look at Whis. I mean, he's a goofy looking weird dude, and he ends up being the teacher, right? You can never go off looks. Now, guys, you need to open your minds more to the possibilities, because when you're so narrow-minded, no, I'm not, you know, going.
I mean, then again, we were all wrong on what happened with Frost, because I was one of them. I was
Oh
like, yeah,
yeah.
man, Frost is gonna be the shit, and Frost ended up being. I mean, he wasn't necessarily like the shits, but he was very cunning in a way. But he ended up being
Yeah.
very, very weak. But I
And
kind of
yeah,
see
we
what
were
you're
all
saying
wrong.
here. Is keep your mind open to things
Keep your
about that,
mind
because
open. You want to have a good imagination. Like I've
yeah,
told Alex many, many times, one of the things I love most about him is that he's so creative, and that's something you just can't take away from someone.
Oh, thank you
That's
so much.
something that's something everyone should have, because look at him. He has fun making these videos. He has fun, using his mind,
Well,
and
that's what it's all about. I mean,
that's what it's all about, man.
exactly. But like, also going back off of Monaka's looks, it's like he looks like this scrawny little pipsqueak with like
With some
purple
nipples,
shoes and a green singlet with pointy
big ass
nipples.
nipples.
But indeed, I'm not trying to say that he's gonna end up being like, oh my God,
Almighty,
powerful. Like,
yeah.
there's no way. But I
But he's
do
not gonna
think
be
that
that weak. He's not gonna be that weak.
no, he's not gonna be that weak. But that kind of also stems off of the gods themselves, because I believe, in my opinion, that within this entire tournament, there is no character that's going to be singled out as being stronger than Champa or Beerus.
Oh yeah.
I think that if anything, people like Monaka hit Super Saiyan God, Super Saiyan, they fall slightly just below them, with the exception of Whis and Vados, who are the only ones that are above the gods. Now, for example, if you were to take into consideration if there was a fusion between Goku and Vegeta, then yeah, I would say they would be slightly stronger than the gods, but still slightly below, their apprentices, Vados and Whis. Now, in
Yeah.
terms of Monaka and Hit covering those two characters, I don't think that they're going to be above the rankings of Beerus and Champa in terms of power, but
Oh
I
no.
do think that those two characters have the potential to be better, well, not better, but like stronger than the Super Saiyan God, Super Saiyan, only because I'm getting that vibe, that someone like Golden Frieza let off, because during the early portions of his battle with Goku, he had the edge. Nobody can ever refute that, because if you go back and you watch clearly, Golden Frieza had the edge over Goku until, from the very
Stamina.
minute he transformed, his body pressure was getting to him, and his
Yep.
form was depleting, and that's what got to him, because clearly he was toying around with Goku. He was beating him up, yeah, but he let the his arrogance get to him, and his transformation wore out. So I think that if Monaka or Hit were to have transformations or not, I think that they're able to maintain whatever power they have, therefore gradually making them stronger than Super Saiyan Blue. So do you think that Monaka, even at full power, would be stronger than a Super Saiyan God? Why or why not?
At full power.
At full power, because as of right now, supposedly, according to Beerus, he's meditating and you're not supposed to be bothering him while he's doing that. But
Yeah.
even in that situation, like, at full power, where does he stand?
Well, going off another translation that I believe Herms had said, I don't know if you heard about it. Beerus had said if Monaka concentrates, he can disintegrate somebody. He's
Yeah,
done that to a
he can
planet.
just absolutely wipe their, well, I mean, he said friend or foe, so
Friend or
friend
foe.
or foe, whoever it is,
Yeah.
it would be just instantly decimated by the powers of this dude. So
Okay, so I mean that's pretty strong. This guy is not concentrating, and he's trying not to concentrate for that very reason, possibly, right? But at 100%, man, I would say they're gonna be right at each other's throat. It would have to come down to technique, smarts. It's gonna be a tactical fight, I believe so. Whoever ends up fighting Monaka, and even if Goku said he wanted to fight Monaka,
yeah,
even
I
though
mean,
they're in the
he
same
even
team.
asked him. He was like, "Hey, would you like to spar?" And Beerus is like, "Yo, what the hell is your problem? Like, quit that!" And he slapped the crap out of him, which I found really funny. But all right, so his identity. You still stand by the fact that you believe he's the god of destruction. Now, going back to the comments, and again, guys, these are just comments. There were a few comments that were like, all right, maybe his true identity was he's the creator of Beerus, or maybe he is the creator of like a portion of the universe, or maybe he
Of
has
YouTube.
somewhat of an influence as to what Beerus has learned over the years, because since they waged war at one point, maybe one turned on the other, Beerus turned on Monaka, and they ended up having like this showdown and stuff. So people have been posting up really interesting stuff. Some things were just way too far off. Like one guy was like, yeah, Monaka could be like the fusion of like two gods from like other universe. I'm like, oh, what? If that's the case, where's the evidence? We don't have any earrings, and there's no like fusion cloaks, so like there's nothing there. But again, like I believe that indeed Monaka is strong. For the people that don't believe that he is, they've been stating their reasons as to why, and they also feel like like this is all just a bluff. Now, some people are saying that the reason why this is a bluff is because Beerus knows that he's going to lose. That's why he's trying to prolong the situation. But I don't think that Beerus would bring Monaka in if he wasn't confident enough about winning. Now, again, Beerus doesn't really have that much of an interest to Earth other than the food, because that's all he really cares about is Bulma's food. Which is why I think that he cares in a way, but in a way he doesn't, because I mean it's not
And
his
King
role to even
Champa.
protect the Earth. He's the god of destruction. I mean, if it just so happens for the Earth to go, it just goes. He's not really gonna care.
He doesn't really care.
But I don't think he would also recruit Monaka if he didn't have the intentions on winning. So, but like again, so where do you stand on his power? Because I think that he's gonna be above Goku and Vegeta on this one. What do you think?
I would say that's the route that this tournament has to go into to get more out of Super after the tournament. You know.
Okay.
Because Goku and Vegeta need to reach new heights. That's their thing. Get stronger, get more powerful. You know. So I do believe that might be the actual case. Monaka's going to be stronger.
And do you think that Monaka is going to engage in somewhat of an exhibition with our guys, or what? Because Goku keeps calling them out, man, and I think like the more you call out someone like that, the more they're gonna get frustrated. They're gonna punch you right back in the face. So I don't know, like Monaka, he's such a, like, some people are just like, oh, he's the god of nipples and stuff. It's hilarious. Like the comments that I've been reading when I was on the road or when I'm at work, it's hilarious, and it's just like it's a fluster of comments because everybody's like, yo, he's a god, he's a father, he's a deity, he's a fusion, he's this, he's that.
Yeah,
and it's just
crazy,
like some theories are really good. Others are just like, bro, like, what is this?
Dude, but just wait until we find out how strong he is.
I made a video a couple days ago stating that I believe that it'll boil down to Hit versus Goku just because of the advertisements and everything that they've been showcasing with those two characters. But after watching episode 35, we have the understanding that indeed Goku's gonna fight after Vegeta, but before Monaka. So the finale I am looking at here just might be Monaka versus Hit. But Goku made a very interesting statement when he told Beerus, well, what if me and Vegeta do it by ourselves? What then? And Beerus is like, splendid, you know, I don't have a problem with that. But that was when Whis was like, all right, so are you gonna reveal his true identity or what? And it's not like Beerus was just like saying, no, he flipped out, dude. Like, he was flipping out. So, you know, like, we don't know what he is or who he is. But like what are your overall thoughts as to what's gonna come after the tournament? Because I don't think that we're necessarily done with Monaka. Maybe I think that we're gonna have like one more piece be shown from him and someone else, like Hit and stuff. Because after watching episode 35, if you guys go back and watch it on Anime Rush or Kiss Anime, wherever it is you guys want to watch it, and you read the subtext, people like Hit, when he knocked out Frost, said that I was promised the cube once this is over and done with, you know. So what does that even mean? Who promised him the cube, and what does he want it for? Because we do know that cube is able to take you from like place to place really fast, and you're able to like travel intergalactically with like just anywhere you want. So does he want to go to a different universe? Does he want to go to universe 7? Does he want to do something else with the Dragon Balls if he gains them or whatnot? So a lot of different notions here, and same thing comes down to Monaka. He was clearly so-called meditating, but other people in the comments were like, no, he wasn't meditating. He was just like dazed out and just like in a coma after he saw Goku do the Kamehameha and stuff. So, but if he turns out to be weak, right? How would you feel about that? Like, well, like, what if he went in there against Hit and he just got knocked the hell out, one punch to the floor?
Dude, I would literally like start bursting out laughing and be like, I'd change my mind on this, and then look what happens. I don't know, man. If that would happen, that would be funny because of what we expect.
Yeah.
But for us, right, because we have our minds open, we're trying to think, you know, Monaka could actually be this strong. Hopefully he's this strong. And a lot of people are just saying, no, he's weak. So if he gets turned down, gets beat up like that, people are just going to be like, well, we expected it.
Absolutely.
You know? And that's what you don't want. I mean, you don't want that. You want to get some surprises out of it, like what we've been getting the last couple of weeks, man. That shit's been gold.
You know, it has. It's been very, very good. And it's just been very unexpected because they've been like, you know, they've been throwing us off our game, because just as much as you would think you would know about some character, like, they just turn it up on you. So I just feel as if I feel as if he is strong, and his battle with Hit, which I'm predicting here, is going to be one for the ages, possibly, because that says a lot. If Goku's going to be eliminated, if that's the case, if Goku gets thrown out, then, you know, ultimately Monaka to hang in there with him is going to be great to witness. But what about this, right? Again, this is theory, guys, speculation.
Okay.
As of this point, just a little headcanon stuff here, right? What if Goku does beat Hit? What if Team Universe 7 wins and Monaka's pissed off because he's like, I meditated and I did all this prep for nothing,
I was about
right?
to say that, dude.
And then he's like, you know what? Just for like I guess you could say added round, somewhat of a little bonus. How about me and you do that sparring match that you wanted so badly? And he ends up beating Goku, but like in a friendly competition way. Like it's just like, I beat your ass and this is for getting me all worked up for nothing and stuff. Like, how would you feel if Monaka didn't really turn on Universe 7, but gave Goku that open invitational?
Dude, I was about to freaking say that, man. I have a feeling that's going to be Goku versus Hit, like you said, because of all the advertisement. I just feel like that's going to be, especially what we saw Hit do this past episode. I just feel it's going to be like Goku versus Hit. Goku beats Hit. That's the end of the tournament. But Goku's like, hey, I want to fight you, Monaka. Monaka's like, I did all this for nothing, all this meditation. You know what? I'm ready to fight. Let me take it out on you. And then he I wouldn't say decimates, but he beats up Goku. I want to say decimates, but not in a negative way. Just like beats the crap out of Goku, kind of like the first time Beerus and Goku met. And that kind of
it'll be really, because I do think in order for Goku to gradually grow, that's gonna need to happen. Like he's gonna have to be
bump in the road.
I mean, you would think, right? Goku fights Beerus and he still doesn't get put in his place. He still wants to challenge people. It's like, I get Goku's standpoint. Like he's not really using his head too much. He just wants to fight every single person he possibly can just to see where they stand. But again, going back to Monaka, you believe that he is strong and you believe that he is the previous God of Destruction. I agree. I do believe that he is very powerful. In terms of him being the former God of Destruction is a little iffy in my book, because maybe he's just a regular person like someone else with just extraordinary power, or maybe he's something else that we're unaware of.
Maybe he's a prodigy.
Possibly, because with Frieza, I mean, we saw what he did after he trained and stuff. He was able to push through the ranks of like Perfect Cell, Majin Buu, and catch up to Super Saiyan God and give Goku run for his money. Like that says a lot. With only only a few months of training, that dude was able to push his body and max himself out to that limit. You know, imagine if he were to keep going. So maybe Monaka has like that same like gradual feel to him. Maybe like, you know, he is the same, well, not the same prodigy because he's nothing like Frieza, but like what if he is one of those people like to where when he, you know, the more he fights or the more he trains, you know, he just becomes not just strong, but like supremely powerful. Like he just gradually grows in power. So who's to say, right? Because a lot of you guys may disagree on the notion of Monaka being just a little pipsqueak after getting punched in the face. And he looks really odd. He looks like a little gremlin wearing like green tights and stuff. It's hilarious. But again, like his power does have to do something with his nipples, which is weird but funny. They have to involve his nipples. So like my final question to you is, what's so special about his nips? Like, really, like, what's so special about this guy's nipples?
Honestly, dude, he needs... His true power lies on the damn nipples.
How? Like, this...
Dude, I don't know, but I feel like he's gonna take off his shirt, and that's when he's gonna be the most powerful.
Really? He's gonna take his... Wait, so he's taking off the singlet? That'll be disturbing.
Oh, yeah, he's gonna put a leaf.
Oh, God.
Dude, what if he doesn't have a crotch, bro?
What if he's Broly?
Dude.
Like just that's a little side canon. We're just, you know, having a little fun here because some people will take that literally. Like, oh my God, it's Broly. Broly's kind of hilarious. Like he kind of turns back.
Especially when we said, "Are you gonna tell him about his true identity?" I saw some Twitter like tweets saying, "Oh shit, it's gonna be Broly."
I saw a meme where like when Whis was like, "Are you gonna reveal his true identity?" and somebody zoomed in on Monaka's lips like really like far in, and at the bottom it like they made it seem like he just whispered Kakarot. It's just like, oh okay, so it is Broly. He's waiting for his moment here. Okay. Like it's all fun. It's all fun. It is, and I can't wait to see what's gonna come of him because. Again, like, we don't know, like, because we have knowledge of Zuno, who's supposed to be, like, this all-powerful being in the center of the universe, and we all thought the Kais were smart, and who knows, maybe Monaka is, like, somewhat of a teacher that even far extends Whis in a way, like, in some aspects, but
yeah,
if you guys differ, comment down below, let us know what you guys think. Once again, guys, thank you all for watching. If you guys are fans, don't forget to subscribe. That way you guys don't miss a single Dragon Ball update. If you guys enjoyed, smash that like button. Also, guys, don't forget to check out Mr. JrzSaiyan. down the description below. Again, if you guys have different comments that differ from our opinions, comment down below. If you guys are excited to see what's going to happen towards the end of this tournament, smash that like button. Thank you all for watching once again, guys, and we'll be seeing you all in the next episode. Take it easy, everybody. Peace.